Subtlety is an art that everyone believes that he or she possesses, but in actuality, very few of us can be subtle. The reason is simple. We meet thousands of people in our lives, and it is just impossible to hide our true self everywhere. Despite that, a bunch of geniuses do get to this level of deception. How do they do it? They do it by studying thousands of views and then representing them in a crisp manner. But there is a shortcut to it as well. You can be subtle if you keep your targeted audience in the dark. You can use big words and introduce some alien concepts, and the audience will start treating you as some form of deity. But sometimes you get the opportunity to push your agenda, as the public will take your statements as gospel of truth. This is exactly what renowned film director Mani Ratnam has done. The man was so subtle in his approach that we are forced to applaud him for being way ahead of his time. Namaste and welcome to TFIPost. I'm your host Piyush. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. If you're watching us on Facebook, do like, share and subscribe to the page. Let's begin with the video report. Urban Naxals. Ideally, it should be one of the most dreaded terms in public space. The person perceived as such should denounce the ideological roots of their thought process. But if that was the case, then the term should not have existed in the first place. This class of intellectualism existed in India way before the term even came into existence. Let's talk about the filmmaker Mani Ratnam, one of the first flag bearers of the term. Mani Ratnam's Pune Selavan has now been released. The film has been directed and co-written by Mani Ratnam himself. It is a Tamil language epic period action drama. The movie is supposed to bring back the lost legacy of the glorious Chola Empire. It is considered one of the most important Indian history-based movies. However, allegations of historical inconsistencies have started to crop up. People are claiming that through the movie, Mani Ratnam has tried to impose a toxic Tamil political culture on the neutral audience. For instance, the tussle of ideas between Shaivism and Vaishnavism during the Chola times is said to have been represented in a negative light. The main reason behind allegations of showcasing a toxic version of Tamil politics is that 25 years ago, Mani Ratnam made a movie glorifying Dravidian politics. Remember Iruvar? This Tamil film, released in 1997, is still counted as one of the most unforgettable films in India. In the movie, Mohanlal, Tabu, Prakash Raj and Aishwarya Rai did excellent work. But do you know what it was based on? It was based on two strong pillars of Dravidian politics: Marudhur Gopalan Ramachandran and Muthuvel Karunanidhi. Some parts of Jayalalitha's life have also been depicted in the movie. But these controversies look childish if we trace Mani Ratnam's filmmaking journey through decades. He is infamous for glorifying negative people in the public domain. Inspired by the godfather of Hollywood, he went on to make a movie called Nayakan about Vardharajan Mudaliar, the original Don of the underworld. The movie's name itself shouts over the rooftop that it was aimed towards depicting the Don in a positive light. You see, Mani Ratnam has a thing or two about detecting the traces of good human character in one of the most evil ones. Otherwise, why would he go on to make a movie like Rosa in 1992? A lot of terrorists shown in the movie were depicted as having rational minds. Religious fanaticism as a base of people rushing in to join the terrorists in Pakistan was not shown in full light. One of the terrorists, named Liaquat, was in fact shown as what can be colloquially termed as Bhatka Hua Nojawan. Mani Ratnam's research, or should I say his selective reading, only depicted the Indian army as the root cause of every evil going on inside the Indian territory. This bias was clearly visible in his 1998 movie Dil Se. In the movie, Manisha Koirala played the role of a suicide bomber who blows herself up, as well as Shah Rukh Khan in the last scene. In the movie, her character was well connected with insurgent groups in Assam, but it is the backdrop of her turning into a suicide bomber through which Mani Ratnam showcased the Indian Army in an extremely poor light. According to the plot of the movie, Manisha Koirala decided to join insurgent groups because she was a victim of rape by the Indian Army. Not only that, the army is shown to have burned villages and raped multiple women in the movie. With so many charges of atrocities against the army, it is natural that you would develop contempt in your own armed forces. Mind you, at that time, very few of us had the ability to differentiate between real and real. Even 12 years after the release of Dil Se, the situation has not changed in India. In 2010, Mani Ratnam came up with a movie named Ravan. As the name of the movie and Mani Ratnam's tryst with the negative character suggest, the movie was made to omit the negative impact of original Ravan from people's mind. Even the character opposite to the so-called villain is named Dev, a word used to describe virtuous characters. There are too many parallels with Ramayana. The movie shows that Abhishek Bachchan, supposedly the villain of the movie, kidnaps Aishwarya Rai to avenge the death of his sister. Aishwarya Rai's character Ragini Sharma is depicted in parallel with Ma Sita. Through this justification, Mani Ratnam tried to give the message that Suparnaka's story may be false. Ravan's character has been humanized by showing him as a victim of circumstantial exploitation by the people in power. He is shown as Naxali, and even in that, everything is shown to be good among Naxal cadres. There is no depiction of how senior cadres in the Naxalite movement sexually exploit their female members, kill those who oppose them, and run a kangaroo court. Moreover, Ma Sita, who is Aishwarya Rai's character, is shown sympathizing with Ravan and what happened in his life, particularly his sister. By showing that Ravan's sister was wrongly treated, the killing of Inspector Hemant Dev's Jr. was justified. Even Bhagwan Ram's conquering of Ravan has been shown as Ravan's sacrificial tribute to Ma Sita and not as a victory. If that was not enough, Ma Sita's commitment has also been subjected to black spots in the movie. When finally Aishwarya Rai is free from the clutches of Ravan, Dev, the lead character, asks her about her fidelity, an event comparable to Agni Pariksha. But instead of Agni Pariksha, Mani Ratnam shows Aishwarya Rai rushing towards Ravan's character played by Abhishek Bachchan. Apart from distorting the history written in Ramayana, the movie was yet another attempt to justify the Naxalite. At the time, even the UPA-II government was planning to get strict on anti-India Naxals and Maoists. The movement had started with the stated goal of freeing farmers from the clutches of zamindars. But it was always a power grab technique by leftist intellectuals. Through writing a few stories about poor men turning into terrorists, they have been gaining sympathy points. This is the textbook technique that Mani Ratnam followed in his movie Ravan. Through the movie, he reignited the sympathy in people's minds. The messaging in Mani Ratnam's movies is so ingrained in archetypical stories that until you possess deep knowledge of history, economics, dharma, and most importantly politics, it is next to impossible to decode the subtlety. But the people of India have started to decode them. That is why the word Urban Naxal came into fore. Not every Naxal stays in the jungle. A lot of them reside in intelligentsia.